Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Congressman Tom Rooney, here to give you a rundown of what we did this week in Congress. Yesterday, we passed the Zika Response Appropriations Act, which will provide an immediate surge of $622 million to intensify mosquito control efforts, expedite the development of a vaccine, and to support the needs of states like Florida on the front lines of this epidemic. This funding will be in addition to the nearly $600 million that has already been deployed to combat Zika, which brings the total amount allocated by the Republican-controlled Congress to $1.2 billion. Of that total, $510 million was drawn from the $2.7 billion that remained unspent on Ebola. That still leaves $2 billion in the bank for any Ebola-related crisis in the future. I'm wholly committed to ensuring that Florida is as prepared as possible to fight Zika right now and well into the future. Despite the administration's claims otherwise, transparency and public health do not have to be mutually exclusive. This week, the House also considered 400 amendments, 2 of which were my own, and passed our annual National Defense Authorization Act. This bill does a number of things, but most importantly, it provides our troops an increase in their salaries and provides them with the best equipment and training that they need to stay alive in the field and complete their missions. House Republicans offset the cuts proposed by the President and imposed by the sequester to ensure our weapons and missile defense systems are ready to protect us from threats from countries like North Korea and Russia. We also increased funding to maintain troop and readiness levels consistent with the rising threats coming from 21st century sophisticated adversaries. The bill also carries the restriction against transferring detainees from Guantanamo Bay to the United States. So in short, this bill makes a clear statement to both friends and adversaries of the United States that we have the means to defend ourselves, and it reassures our service members that whatever they are asked to do, they will be prepared and fully supported. So now to my 2 amendments. The first ensures that military families who have children with autism can use their insurance to reimburse the applied behavior analysis that their children need as therapy. Having a special needs child shouldn't make it harder to serve in the military. The second amendment requires the Department of Defense to ensure that we are not providing U.S. security assistance to foreign security forces implicated in human rights allegations, specifically from my initiated investigation into allegations of child sexual abuse committed by Afghan security forces. Both amendments passed. Finally, this week, the House passed the Military Construction and Veterans Affairs Appropriations Bill for fiscal year 2017. This legislation provides funding for the Department of Defense construction budget and the Department of Veterans Affairs to support our troops, medical facilities, and defense infrastructure. The bill contains funding to house, train, and equip military personnel, provide housing and service to military families, and help maintain the safety and security of our military bases. Included in this bill is $1.5 billion in funding for VA assistance programs for homeless veterans and their families, aimed to take care of a new generation of veterans better than we did the last. That's all I have for you this week. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and I hope you and your families have a great weekend.